In this lesson, we'll be learning a slip jig in A minor called Elizabeth Kelly's that I learned from the playing of John Kelly. Now let's learn the tune slowly, phrase by phrase. Here's the very first bar starting on our open string A, a nice long A. Let's go again. 1, 2. Here's the second bar. And we'll go again. Now here's those two bars together. Let's try that together after 2. 1, 2. Let's go for bar 3 this time. Let's try that again. We're almost there. So we have one more bar to learn of the first part, and then we just repeat it. So in this bar, we are going to our G. So it's... Now I like to use my fourth finger for the A here. So I think it's a really nice tone, and it helps because we're going to do a little cut on the G when we go through the technique later. So let's just try that without the cut first. So G, A, G, G. And even if it feels a little bit funny playing the A with the fourth finger, keep trying it and eventually you'll get a nice tone from it. So let's just try the G, A, G, G together using the fourth finger. And we'll finish off the rest of the bar this time. Let's try that fourth bar one more time, starting on the G with our fourth finger for the A. Very good. Let's try the 4 bars together, nice and slowly. Great, and to make it 8 bars, we just simply repeat those 4 bars again. So let's practice that another time. Great. So let's try the 4 bars played twice. So the whole first part of the tune. So it's a single slip jig. That's why it just has 8 bars. So from the beginning, 1, 2. Now let's go back to the first part and explore what we could put in to the first part for some variations and ornamentation. So I like to put in little subtle pieces of variation and ornamentation into my music. So let's go to that very first long A. A really simple way of adding a little variation to that is by using your open string chords, your A and your D together. So if you're not used to doing double stops or chords on the fiddle, it's really important to balance the bow over the 2 strings equally. So let's just try that first of all before we worry about putting it into the tune. So let's try our A and our D, open strings, no need to worry about fingers. So maybe try that 3 or 4 more times just to get the balance between the A and the D. Don't worry if it sounds stronger on the A or stronger on the D at the start. It takes time just to get that balance with the bow. So really focus on your bow until you get that really nice balance. So our open string A and D, let's try that on the first bar. So it sounds like this. No need to hit it too strong, just a nice subtle chord. Then we have our second bar. Now, if you want, you could try a different chord on the next long A, which is at the start of the 3rd bar. So you could maybe try put down your F sharp on the D string. So let's just try that first, our F and our A together, just to see if we can get the balance. And it depends if you like the sound of it as well. You might prefer just to stick to the open string A and D, or do the F sharp. Again, it's very personal choice. So whatever you like the sound of, go for it. And then I mentioned before, we were going to come back to the 4th bar and pop in a little cut on that G with our 4th finger after we've strengthened it up. So just a really subtle little cut using that 4th finger. So again, you might need to take that out of the tune first and practice it 3 or 4 times before getting it into the tune, okay? So again, just to recap, on the first bar, we just stuck with our open A and D. At the beginning of the 3rd bar, we decided to go for the F sharp and the A together, or you can stick to the A and D. Then in the 4th bar, we had our little cut on the G. Okay, so let's try that together in the first part. So just some little ideas for you. Now we're ready to go on to the second part of Elizabeth Kelly's slip jig, starting off on our C natural. So that's the one right beside the B. So I'll just play the first bar for you so you can get it into your head. So starting off on a nice long C natural, let's try that together. One more time. Now we'll go on to the second bar of the second part. Let's try that together, starting on our C. Great. Now we'll try the 2 bars together from the beginning of the second part, starting on our lovely long C natural. Great. Now we're going to go on to the third bar. Let's have a listen. Very similar to the first bar, but we have an extra little A in there after the C. So let's try that together. C-A. Great. And the good news is the fourth bar is the exact same as the fourth bar in the first part. So all that practice we did with the fourth finger on the A, that's going to pay off now because you already know this bit. Have a listen to see if you recognize it. I love when that happens in a tune. You've already practiced it, so let's just practice it 1 or 2 more times. So we'll go from the G, A, G, G. Remember, using our fourth finger for the A. Great. One more time. So that's the 4 bars of the second part done. And like the first part, we just repeat those 4 bars again to make it 8 bars. So let's try the whole lot of the second part twice through, starting on our lovely long C natural. The second part complete. In the second part, we have a lovely long C natural to start off. And I like to add a little chord there as well on the E. So let's try and get our first finger on the E on our D string, and then our C natural, they're tucked right beside each other. Again, you might need to do that 3 or 4 times just to get used to it. So. And then another thing that's nice to add in a little variation is just adding a little roll here and there if that's part of your practice. So on the third bar, I tend to do a... Instead of the C-A, you can pop in a C natural roll. So I'll just do that again. And then in the fourth bar, we can do the same as what we had in the fourth bar of the first part. So to recap that, I'm going to do our 3 little variations on the second part played in full. So our C and our E together. but so just some ideas for you. Now we're going to try and play the full tune twice round. The first time I play the tune, I'm going to keep it clean with no variations or chords. And then the second time, I'm going to add in some of those variations. So you're welcome to join me if you like. After 2. 1, 2. I hope you enjoyed this lesson. If you want more, we've recorded a course called West Clare Fiddle Tunes, where we'll be taking a journey around West Clare, learning 13 tunes associated with great fiddle players such as Joe Ryan, Bobby Casey, Junior Crehan, Nell Galvin and many more. There's a 14-day free trial, so go to oaim.ie and sign up.